We've battled across Arabian lands in medieval combat, but now it's time to turn our attention to the war in East Asia in Firefly Studios' new real-time strategy, Stronghold Warlords. The Stronghold series has thrown some action-packed and highly rated games at us over the years, so the pressure's on for the studio to continue this momentum when Warlords launches on January the 26th. With a new game comes new features, and both returning and new players will get to enjoy the thrill of harnessing powerful new weapons on the battlefield. Lord Deck of Fanatical here, and in this video I'll be taking you through some of the main features that you can expect to see in Stronghold Warlords when it arrives later this month. Before we dive in though, don't forget to add Stronghold Warlords to your Fanatical wishlist so you're ready to conquer the globe at launch. The troops are getting restless, we better get a move on. As we mentioned before, Stronghold Warlords will be taking players to a different corner of the world to spill blood and reign supreme. Well, hopefully anyway. In Warlords you'll be heading to East Asia, in 3rd century BC China to be exact, where you'll attempt to claim a castle or two in your name and relive famous historical battles and sieges from across the Asian continent. You take command of Mongol hordes, imperial warriors and samurai clansmen as you lay siege to Japanese castles and fortified Chinese cities. Taking place over 4 nations, you'll be battling the Chinese, the Japanese, the Mongols and the Vietnamese amongst other foreign invaders. Stronghold Warlords will be the first in Firefly's long-serving series to offer players the opportunity to recruit, upgrade and command AI lords across the battlefield in the form of in-game warlords. Each one under your command will help boost your strategic prowess with unique perks, characteristics and upgradable abilities. With each battle you'll have a fresh set of warlords to command and new strategic depth to discover. This will certainly perk up gamers' ears who enjoy replayability. In the game you can put your warlords to work on everything from fortifying borders and forging weapons to teaming up for a pincer attack in battle. They can even fetch you a tall cappuccino. Actually, that's a lie. They can't do that last one. Each AI warlord has its own unique traits, so depending on which lords you have among your ranks will alter your gameplay experience economically and diplomatically. With the warlords able to be upgraded by spending diplomacy points to give you an even bigger advantage on the battlefield. If you're a die-hard Stronghold fan and you don't recognise this, then you'll be right. Diplomacy is a new feature and you'll get it through government buildings. Moving the series forward from ye olde medieval times means that new technologies and wonders have been discovered. There's no smartphones just yet, but we do have a tasty new projectile weapon at our disposal. You can now besiege historical warlords with the use of new gunpowder fueled siege weapons alongside your classic units and battle plan. Some of the new siege weapons you'll get your hands on include Thunder Crash bombs, the Fearsome Mortar and the Hawacha Fire Arrow Cart. Say hello to my little friend. With all these new siege weapons arriving, we don't want to miss out on telling you about another, shall we say, unique projectile that's making a return? That's right, the diseased animal ammunition. Yes, you heard that correctly. You're able to throw the remains of a water buffalo over castle walls at your unsuspecting enemies, as voted by the Stronghold Discord channel. Water buffalo made the cut over other suggestions such as log, bacterium, camel, and a horse with a sore throat. There's no way that would have made it over the wall. Whatever flaming or rotting ammunition that you throw at your foes, you're sure to have a blast with 10 siege weapons available at launch. We've already mentioned classic units, but did you know that you'll also have new units to command this time around? Including Imperial Fire Lancers, Disciplined Samurai, Mongolian Bowmen, and Auxiliary Laddermen. Oh, and Ninjas. Yeah, that's right, Ninjas. You can command an army of them. Now that is a good reason to buy the game alone. Back in December 2019, Firefly Studios announced that 6 new castle sim features will be included in Stronghold Warlords. Simulating the bustle of a large feudal city is no easy task, so the developer has gone above and beyond to ensure that there's lots going on within the 4 walls of your virtual home from home. You'll be able to boost troops' morale with opera houses and martial art performances, strike fear in the hearts of the measly peasants and boost productivity with torture devices, and you can also connect roads to streamline certain industries and resource chains. You'll be able to build temples and boost the spirit of your populace, and get your warlords to boost your industry with their own mini economies. But if your peasants are kicking off, be sure to house them in luxury accommodation to keep them happy. Maybe we shouldn't call them measly to their faces after all. As well, you can make your peasants happy by giving them a variety of new food that is popular in the region. Just like in previous games, the popularity system returns to reward varied and extensive economists. Like in Stronghold Crusader 2, this will impact peasant migration but also reward bonuses. In the new game, food production is important, with rice being the only essential food. Vegetables, meat and tea are all luxury items, with high popularity increasing food production. Another returning addition is the fear factor. We don't mean the game show, instead we mean the way of instilling fear through tough actions. This means making soldiers fight harder and workers produce more. But of course, it comes with a risk. Scared soldiers will be demoralised and their fighting effectiveness will be undermined, and you will not be as popular with peasants, leading to more potentially leaving your cities. Estates are also back, though these aren't to be confused with the new Warlords estates. These deliver goods to your empire and give your subject job roles that will allow them to contribute to the cause, such as becoming a blacksmith or an armourer. Last but not least, the scribe is back to remark about events within the game. If you want to know what is happening, this is a person to go to. As the series progresses, Firefly has been able to tweak the gameplay more and more, and in Stronghold Warlords that is no exception. The studio stated that it will usher in major improvements and refinements on how computer-controlled opponents interact with you, as well as with each other. AI behaviours linked to castle management, skirmish combat and city building have been completely revamped in the 8th instalment of the Stronghold franchise, as well as adding in the new Warlord system. Each enemy AI will have a distinct style of play over a set of predetermined behaviours. The decisions made by computer-controlled opponents will now be made according to the map's layout and estates scattered across the world, as well as the tactical positioning of warlords, available resources, current army composition, and their priorities at different stages of gameplay. It's fair to say that Firefly has put a lot of love into not only how this game looks, but also how it runs. You'll be besieging Japanese castles and fortified Chinese cities with gunpowder and much more, but the explosive action isn't limited to one game mode. In the campaign mode, you'll play through 31 missions that span the whole of East Asia. But if that doesn't create a burning light in your heart, like the fires that you're bound to create in the game, then there's no need to worry. You'll be able to play short, preset scenarios in skirmish games, or create your own in the free build mode. Are you more sociable than the single player mode allows you to be? Then why not kick back and beat your friends with no second thought in the multiplayer game mode? Multiplayer has a unique Warlords feature too, where small AI controlled castles can be captured in order to ally with Warlords for them to join your army and then be upgraded to your heart's content. And if you're done fighting with your friends, why not team up with them? There's a new co-op game mode that will allow you to work together. As the game's marketing director Nick Tannehill explains, one player could handle the economy from the start while the other builds up an army. Then, later during a siege, that player could control defensive units like fire lancers and archers, while the other triggers castle traps and puts out fires. Now that sounds right up my street.